Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Circle of Love and Light. I'm your host, Dr. Jane Mountrose, and I'm here today with my wonderful partner and husband, Dr. Phillip Mountrose, and our delightful co-host, Loola Mora, who hasn't been with us recently. So I'm very excited. I woke up this morning thinking, wow, this is going to be so much fun. It also is exciting to me that we're going to be talking about the enlightened masters who are with us in the higher realms. So the circle topic is spiritual transformation with the masters. And I have a couple questions related to it. Are you ready for your next step on the spiritual journey? I think all of us would say yes, wherever we are. Are you curious to learn about the enlightened beings who support you in the higher realms? And that's a question each of us has to answer for ourselves. Philip and I have been strongly guided in recent times to connect with the masters. And we're here with Loola to discuss our personal experiences with them and to talk about the kinds of opportunities that are available for all of us as we connect with these enlightened, loving, magnificent beings. We're also going to do a special oracle reading with Loola. So we're going to use the process that we have been doing ourselves and that we're doing in an upcoming class that we're doing on the masters. We have a process for meeting more of the masters, because what we wanted to do, we knew some, but we wanted to know more. And I think for each of us, there are masters who are specifically here for us, those who resonate most clearly in our hearts. And as we meet them, then we have the opportunity to access more of these beings. So as always, we first want to thank you for being with us and being emissaries of love and light for the world. That's what we're all here for. The circle is here every week at this time to light up our lives, to help us to heal, to grow, and to stand up as beacons of light for the world. It's one of the best things any of us can do as light workers, wayshowers, spiritual healers, spiritual aspirants, however we define who we are. It's a wonderful thing for us to do, and also for ourselves. It's a blessing that we're giving to ourselves at the same time. So one more thing before we start, I like to begin each week just by centering ourselves, by bringing our energy together. So if you're in a place where you can close your eyes, this is a wonderful time for that. Just breathing. And the way I look at it now is this is an opportunity to breathe in the most miraculous, nurturing, loving, beautiful energy available to you. Just exactly the perfect energy for you. Bringing it in. And as you exhale, releasing any energy you don't need right now, anything that might feel heavy or repressive. So as you breathe, you can breathe that beautiful, loving energy anywhere in your body if you notice any tension. I love to imagine it going into all the cells, just blessing all of my cells with love and light. And again, releasing with the exhale. And I think as we do this, it brings us more into our bodies. And that's why just taking a few breaths like this can make such a big difference. So with that, welcome again, and we're ready to begin. So I want to turn to you, Philip, and ask you to share a little bit about your perspective on meeting with the enlightened masters.
Meeting with the enlightened masters, highly recommended experience.
All right. For
So
sure.
they're like having friends. I find it very conversational. It's like these wonderful, illuminating conversations. Most of it is I'm on the receiving end, where I'm receiving advice, asking questions, and interacting them with my consciousness and theirs. So it's a way of understanding your life much more deeply, getting more meaning, more purpose, more direction, and also very grounded, because most of the enlightened masters have had experiences on this planet and have mastered them, and i.e. enlightened ascended masters.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a sense of what it's like to live it. It's not theoretical. So there's that sort of practical reference to everything.
Right, right. And I think if you look at who the masters are, it's helpful to distinguish them from the archangels, who we also connect with a lot. And here, we might even invite some today, along with the masters. The angels, the archangels, are beings that resonate divine love, in different qualities of divine love, and they're here to support us. Really, they can provide insights, and they can provide healings, activations of more of our light, kind of tweaking. And I've had this experience both with the archangels and the masters, tweaking things for us energetically to open us more to our intuition and what's possible for us. The angels generally are not beings who have had lives physically. Some have, and some probably have had a little, but maybe not actually going through a process of ascension, which the ascended masters have. And that is really the distinction, that the ascended masters are beings who have gone through many lives on the physical plane. So they come as our teachers. They're the beings of divine love also. And I think all of them, one of the things that is so beautiful is they recognize us as ascended masters too, knowing that we are in the process right now, but they recognize us as the highest version of ourselves, which is way up there in the high dimensions. So they honor us just as much as we honor them. And it's just so exciting. Any thoughts, Loola, on your experiences with them?
Yeah, I was listening to you and Philip, and a lot of thoughts came to me, and feelings also. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
the word mentor came to me many times.
Yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's the relationship that I have been like creating with them. You know, is a guidance, like some things that I can follow, and because I think that's the more like amazing thing, is that they experience, many of them, as Philip said, this human experience. So seeing them as mentors for me is very inspiring and empowering, because the way they give us support and guidance is in that kind of relationship of mentors or masters, as you said. So that has been my experience, and it's very profound, the connection that we can get with them. You know, is I can feel the tinglings, and I can feel how they honor me, as you mentioned right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Is amazing, because I can feel how I'm being in that state of unlimited potential when I'm in that connection with them. So it's beautiful, because it's not only what they are like sharing with me, is the possibility of feeling myself in that unlimited potential, and knowing how important I am in a big process, you know, universal. And it's not only my process, it's being part of something bigger. And when I have that connection with them, I can sense it. I can feel how expanded I can be, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So
And
that's
that's
one of
really
the
the
things.
ultimate goal, I think, for us, the way that I'm looking at it, at least, and I think Philip is in the same kind of in the same place, is that at this particular time, the time of what we call the Great Awakening, as Awakenings Institute, it is the time of, and many refer to it as the time of the Great Awakening, the Aquarian age, a time for us to really move more into the fullness of who we are. That for those of us who view ourselves as light workers and healers, and people who are way showers, or just wanting to make a difference at this time, I think we are being called to bring that fullness down into kind of like that idea of masters walking the earth again.
Mhm.
And I can't remember where that that idea comes from, but that is what we're aiming for, is to bring that mastery within ourselves into physicality, to help to support the transformation that's occurring.
Absolutely.
You know, pretty profound.
Yeah. And it's feeling all those other beings that maybe I haven't been connected
Mhm.
until now,
Right.
but knowing how all the forces, I will use that word, forces, are getting together for creating this new humanity. And that's where I feel that amazing light that is coming from the masters, from the ascended masters too, you know. It's like everyone is getting clearer. That's what I feel in their
Yeah.
mission.
Mhm.
And as a human right now on earth, I can feel it too. And I can feel the call. And I think because of that, we're being able to create or to connect with them like easier, because
Right. Yeah.
is needed, is really needed. So
Mhm.
I think that has given me the confirmation that I'm in a correct path.
Mhm. Yeah. And I think we are in a time when they are making themselves more available
Exactly.
to us, and also that the vibration on the planet is rising. And for those of us who are in this place, and part of what we're doing today also is we can raise our vibration to go get closer to them. And I think the more we can do that, the higher the kind of plateau that we're on together, the more that we can receive from them too. Because if we're just wallowing around in the mire, you know, kind of like, oh, woe is me. And there are those times, and we can call on them to support us there too. But we can, if we can step up more to the creator within ourselves, which actually resides right in our heart, then the opportunity really expands exponentially, I think.
I agree with you. And I feel it when you are talking about it. I can feel it in my body. You know,
Yeah,
I
we
can
can. You
feel
can also call, you can right now even just call on that master that resides within you and above you, just to receive a showering of that vibration, of that higher vibration, and feel it like a cascade of light from your own higher self coming down. I've been doing that recently more, just
beautiful.
with that purpose of integrating that higher vibration into my physical being. And I can feel it. Could you feel it, Lula?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I felt the light immediately, you know, and I feel that I don't know if that's the correct word. I think I don't find the word, but how important I am, how, I don't know, how my life.
Valued.
Yeah, that's the word. That's what I felt. You know, when I was feeling all, I felt how I was part of everything.
Right. Yeah. And that's true. We connect more with the truth of who we are and the magnificence of who we are. It's interesting. Lula has taken our big, our year-long program, and we've been actually doing a lot of things together recently. It is, now I lost my train of thought. I completely lost it. So you can.
Happens to me all the time.
Yeah, that's weird. Anyhow, it'll probably come back.
For sure.
So did you have any thoughts about that? Just integrating that energy?
Well, I think big picture, we're coming from a spiritual place,
Mm-hmm.
sort of beyond the veil where we are when we're not physically alive here on earth like we all are right now. Yet we came from somewhere else, and that somewhere else, we're still there, part of our soul. Some people say about 80% is elsewhere, and we're just a small part here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so we get more in touch with that. when we're connected with the masters, and how to bring that energy into this experience, the more materialistic experience and relationships on earth. So it's a real inspirational, incredible resource to
Mm-hmm.
help us find
Yeah.
our way and live more fully.
Right. Yeah. I remembered what I was going to say and
Yeah.
why I related it to our program and everything, because in our writings and in our understanding of the journey, we have been speaking for years about connecting with your unique genius, with the greatness, with the magnificence, and fully believing it and understanding it in a certain way. But what I'm sensing now is that it's time for us to take it a step further because we can actually understand what that is or who that is, who we are on a higher level. I've gone through my own story, tracing back my soul's history on Earth all the way back to Atlantis, which led me back to a master, a specific being, which is actually Lady Nada. And I connect
Okay.
with her. I bring her sometimes with us, along with others. All of us have that. There is, and it may be some a being we'd recognize, maybe not, but we can, like Loola was saying and Phillip was saying, if nothing else, we can feel it. We can feel exactly what that is. And on our journey, there are ways that we can trace that for ourselves. And I think Phillip has done that too, which is interesting because we come from very different places, Phillip and me. We're in many ways opposites, and his origin is more from, I don't know if you want to share what that is, that's up to you, but more Eastern philosophy, and mine is more from a Western kind of side. So my past lives, I'm trying to think, I don't know if I can even remember any that were in the East, meaning Asia, that kind of, rather than more European and Atlantis and areas that I consider to be more Western. But it is fascinating to realize that that is true for us all. And our soul, like Phillip was saying, our soul exists in different dimensions. So you can trace it actually all the way up through the dimensions. There is the oversoul, which there's the soul, and then the oversoul, and then the part you might call it the master, the fully enlightened version of yourself. They're all there right now.
I can call them our family, actually.
Right, they are.
They
Yeah,
are
family.
our
We do
family in our
family of light.
exactly. I was
Yeah,
going
that's
to
what we
that
call them, and people
to
call them
that
different
place.
things. Our spiritual team or family of light. I like
Family of
family of
light.
light.
Me too. Me too. And it's amazing when you start exploring that, where you're like just sharing, where we come, our soul family, and as you are doing your family tree, here on earth, seeing it in higher dimensions is amazing, and is so like infinite. And
Yeah, it is really.
and when you
Yeah.
were saying about connecting with the masters, I actually think that according to the moment we are in our evolution, we connect with some of them, and when we are ready, we can connect with other ones, and they shown to us. Is
Right.
something that is not linear, or that is like easy to understand, but it's like according to your level of understanding and evolution, you are gonna get contacted with that specific person of your family and different levels of consciousness, because it's
Right.
what you need. So when you start that process, it's a new adventure too. So
Oh, it is. It's like the
keep
greatest
being
adventure
different.
ever.
Exactly. So it's beautiful because it's like like in a video game when you are finding the new clues and moving. There's another clue and I'm finding this and I can connect better with this. So it's beautiful because you are feeling how you can get more expanded every time that you go deeper in your own process, and how your own
Right.
process
Yeah.
is actually affecting positively or not in the big picture, in the big process. So that's what I find amazing. And I can feel it, and I can feel the tingles, and I can feel the cold, and I can feel how this great awakening is bringing a lot of challenges, but at the same time is making us vibrate higher. I will say it that way.
Maybe that's a
Right.
good introduction to actually experience this, so people get a sense of what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. And I have to, before we do that, I want to welcome Nikki and Sharon, who are here with us.
Welcome.
I got so involved in our topic, I forgot to check who was here with us, and we want to welcome you and others who are here with us now. So what we're going to do here now is going to be a combination of a meditation and an oracle reading, where we're going to connect Loola with one of the masters in relation to something specific, a challenge that she is facing, and get insights from the oracle cards, from the masters themselves. Well, we'll just see. We don't know what's going to happen. And I think that's one of the things I love about the circle. We kind of open to whatever is going to emerge. And that's where we are now. I do want to say a few things, because I think we're all looking to connect with the masters more. That we want to, as we were discussing, we want to raise our own vibration to the best possible place to meet with them. And it is first by connecting with that source of wisdom in our own hearts, and then having a positive and pure intention to receive truth and wisdom from them. In other words, not bringing any of our ego kind of baggage with us, just to be in a pure place of a soulful place, really a soulful place. And from that place, understanding, there are a few basic things I think about. Understanding that as creators, life is happening for us, not to us. So we're not looking at validation of victimization. We're looking for validation, as we all have been discussing, of who we really are, and the meaning that is of the experiences that we're having. Understanding also, and I thought of it, Loola, that sometimes the healing that we're experiencing is broader than ourselves, and this way kind of gets my brain going sometimes. That we may be healing something for humanity in the experiences that we're having. I have been given that, told that by some of the angels and masters at times. And as I mentioned, it's a little hard sometimes to grasp what that could be, but I think all of us who are stepping up in this way, we are doing more than just personal work a lot of times.
Sometimes called group or collective trauma.
Right. Yeah. We're clearing collective trauma, and there is a lot around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think, Loola, I'll let you maybe add a little bit to it, but she's experiencing some physical challenges, and what she expressed to me is that she wants to have insights or help in whatever way is possible for how she can respond best to it, and to receive the best results, or the most I guess the most appropriate results. So would you like to say any more about what you're experiencing, or it's up to you if you want to go any further in any way?
Yeah, I want to mention something before, and is when you were talking about the collective healing, I got emotional, and I think I was starting in my own process to understand that more deeply, because I felt it since young age, but I was not really clear what I
Right.
felt that way.
Yeah.
And now that I'm facing this specific experience, of course, I ask myself, why me sometimes? Or
Right.
what
And
did I
that's
do
normal.
wrong?
Right.
What did I do
Right.
wrong?
Right.
I have been working on my healing. I have been working on myself. What I'm experiencing this, and I think I'm still in that understanding because I'm facing it. And as you
Mhm.
mentioned, I would love to know how I can respond best, to this
Mm.
specific experience and big challenge that I'm experiencing right now, because I
Mhm.
sense that I'm doing a very deep healing, and it's like a mix through my process, but I'm healing some collective trauma too, or maybe some generational ancestral
Mhm.
Right.
thing there.
Yeah.
So it
Mhm.
has
How's it
been really
showing up for
challenging.
you, Lula? What's it manifesting as?
I'm experiencing an autoimmune illness called ulcerative colitis.
Oh, it's an intestinal.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
Right.
in my colon.
Is it? You mean an infection or
No, it's
obstruction?
an autoimmune illness. From is a um, my colon gets
Autoimmune.
swollen. Yes, yes,
Autoimmune. Yeah.
autoimmune.
Autoimmune.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start kind of with the meditation part. Um, I think I will explain before, just so I don't have to explain it while we're in our more altered state. Uh, when Philip and I decided we wanted to connect with more of the masters, we thought, well, we'd like to use oracle cards to introduce us. So we start with an intention, as Lula did. And the oracle that we have chosen to use is called Keepers of the Light, which it includes some ascended masters. We refer to them as enlightened masters because some are cosmic. They haven't, they're masters from other places too. Um, and there are other beings that he has in here. I think there are 45 total. And what we did, because we really want to focus on the ascended masters, is we actually narrowed the deck that we're using. We have 22 cards instead of 45, and these are enlightened masters in here specifically, because we wanted to really focus in on that. And when we use oracles, we use them in a way we kind of devise our own ways of using them, to use them in the ways that are most effective for what we're wanting to achieve. So we have the enlightened masters here, and then we follow up with another card. We call it a significator, which is a significator card is a card that provides more insights on it. And I'm not sure which one it's going to be, but one of the ones we use is the Angel Wisdom Tarot, and only the major arcana, which are the major patterns, because we want to have the major message. And the other one that I'm thinking of, and I'm just going to see what seems right when we get to it, is this Work Your Light Oracle, which actually Lula introduced me to a while back. And it's a wonderful, wonderful oracle. Every time I use it, I love it. So we have
More and more.
all of these available to us. And what we're going to do is, collectively, and those of you who are here with us in person or even at another time, because we're together through time and space, just to join us, we're going to take a little journey up to the mountaintop, connecting with the love in our hearts, and then we're going to go to the oracle. So here we go. Again, breathing in just the most beautiful, radiant love and light, the perfect love and light for you to lift your spirits. Again, inhaling that love and light and exhaling any energy that doesn't feel right to you or just is heavy. Just let it go. So you feel lighter with each breath. Another thing I love to do and generally do for myself each day is just ask, and with your intention, which is powerful, for any energy in your space, in your energy field, that ball of light around you and in your body, any energy that's not your own, to send it back where it came from. We pick up energy from other people, places, other times. Just send it all back with love. And you may feel then that there's more space for that love and light to come in. And similarly, we leave bits of ourselves in with other people, other times, other places. So just ask for any energy that can be brought back to you now, just to bring it back in. And you may feel that too. I feel it every time I do it. And I wonder, how can there always be more? But there is. And you may notice as you do these two things that you just feel more present in your body in the moment, which is what we want. We want to be here for this experience. How does that feel to you, Loola?
Wow, feels so good. Actually, I'm already sensing and feeling the presences of Archangel Raphael right now.
Wonderful. Yes, and we can invite in, I like to invite in Archangel Metatron to surround us with light, and Archangel Michael to keep us, to protect us. We can invite Raphael too. They're all just so beautiful. And with that, I can already feel our energy, our vibration rising. So we can breathe in lighter energy and just imagine going to a mystical mountaintop, but just wonderful mystical mountaintop way up in the higher reaches, where we can meet with these beings and one of the masters. So just feel yourself rising up there. And when you get there, Loola, let me know what it's like.
It's it's an infinitive place. Doesn't have limits.
Wonderful.
I feel lighter. Actually, I sense myself there, but I don't have a body. And
without a body, can you still connect with that love in your heart as you may already, that one of the things about doing this, rising to a place like this, is it tends to connect us and center us with that love that we hold in our hearts.
Exactly that way. I can feel it more. It's easier to perceive it.
Wonderful. Just breathing love into the heart and allowing it to radiate out from the heart, filling all the cells in your body and all around. And all of us who are just collectively in a circle, filling our whole space with love.
Wow. Actually, it's beautiful. What I'm experiencing right now is being in the middle of the cosmos and seeing like lights shining, like one is like turning on and like it's like a melody and I can sense some music there. It's wonderful. A symphony. Everything is in harmony. And the more beautiful thing is that I'm being part of that harmony. In this level of like consciousness or in this dimension.
It's interesting. There's references made to music of the spheres, I think they call it, which is that like heavenly music. It sounds like that's what it is. Just beautiful. So we're already in a magical place.
Yes.
You ready for me to draw a card for you?
Yes, please.
So we're inviting a master again to share with Loola how she can best respond to this experience she's having with the most fruitful results. So we have here, wow, Lady Portia. And
Wow.
the card says divine order. She says, do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. And Lady Portia, this is another thing about this particular set of cards. You might want to open your eyes, Lula. This is just the illustrations on the cards are so beautiful, and they feel so real. I connect with them and I look into their eyes and I can feel their presence.
I agree. Wow.
And she is the twin flame of Ascended Master Saint Germain. When you see the violet, beautiful violet on her and all around her.
Wow.
She's just a beautiful, beautiful being. So I'm going to read a little bit about,
I got chills.
her. I got chills seeing it. So there's something about it for you, I think, in here. Lady Portia. This powerful goddess is a figure of justice and peace. She brings order and opportunity to every experience. This is interesting. As a lord of karma, she also regulates the law of cause and effects. She helps us recognize the impact of our judgments, choices, and actions on ourselves and the world. She is the twin flame of Saint Germain, so is strongly connected to the violet flame energy. Together, these twin flames can work as overseers of legal situations, period. Justice is an energy that's about honoring everyone involved rather than punishing bad behavior, which would include oneself. Lady Portia helps us to do what is right morally and spiritually for our soul's growth.
Wow. And I got emotional also.
Mm-hmm. And I think in analyzing or interpreting a message, our purpose, the way that we do it, is we're not wanting to interpret it for Lula, because that would be disempowering to her. For us to tell her what the message is, to empower her, we read the message and invite her to open to what it is saying to her personally, and what Lady Portia, who is present with us now, is saying. And we can just invite ourselves also to connect with her vibrational, each of everyone and everything has a unique vibrational signature, just to feel her vibration around us. It feels so profound. So Lula, what does that bring up in you?
I remember how I started my conversation today, sharing a little bit about my experience, or the experience I'm facing. And I said that I questioned myself and I asked why me, or what I did wrong. And here she comes and hugs me and said that I don't need to take everything so personally, and that I'm a vehicle of healing too for the collective. That I was right, that there's a mix in this experience, something personal and some collective. So there's the lesson, and that she showed up because I have a strong connection with Saint Germain, but she comes to invite me to honor my femininity, my feminine energy.
That makes sense. And she is just a beautiful representation.
Exactly. And she
of the feminine.
hugged me, and she actually talked to my ear, and she said, that's the reason, that's the color you are seeing so frequently right now.
Are you seeing violet a lot?
Yes.
That's interesting.
And because and she says you are transmuting 3 times, she said, in my ear. And I'm receiving the message because colon, or like the kind of illnesses that are chronic, as the one that I'm experiencing, invite us to learn about validation, impotence, and everything comes from the self. So that's the invitation. And she said, this is a huge lesson for me in my process and has a huge impact in others people's life.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And
Yeah. So I'm
and
curious
I get
now if you,
emotional
if you
because
feel like you would rather, if you feel like you want to have a significator card, or if you want to do a violet flame healing, I'm not, it's
yeah,
up to you what you feel would be most helpful to you right now.
I think the more helpful for me is doing the violet flame
Yeah,
healing right
that's what,
now.
yeah, that's what I
And not
think.
only for me, is this is touching a lot of hearts,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm being the vehicle again.
Mm-hmm.
So is what I need and what the collective needs.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I don't know why.
Oh, for sure. The violet
Is
flame is a beautiful,
yeah,
it transmutes, for anybody who's listening who doesn't know, it transmutes lower vibrations into love and joy. And it's like alchemy, like transforming base metals into gold or something, except it's on a vibrational level supporting us in our awakening. So this is something anybody can use. You can use it every day. And it just, I find it doing it. I do it fairly regularly for this and that. And I just find it surprising, surprisingly powerful. So I think we'll just do that, and everybody who's here with us can join in. So we're inviting in that. I feel also, Lula, if it's all right with you, I feel like Saint Germain wants to be here too. Just,
yeah.
So we have
She wants.
them both. So we have
We needed them
divine
both.
feminine and divine
Yeah,
masculine.
we need that harmony, that balance right now.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things humanity needs most. And so we're inviting them to provide us with an outpouring of the most beautiful violet flame energy you can imagine. As with everything, you can make it the most magnificent, wonderful version for you. And some people imagine it like a fire. And it's not a hot fire. It's a violet, transformational energy fire. I'd like to imagine it as a sparkling violet light. It's a similar thing, just I think the fire or the sparkling, it's like it it moves energy and moves things. So just imagine that most beautiful violet fire, sparkling violet fire, whatever, however it is for you, all around you. And then inviting it into your body also. And for Lula and anyone, if you have something, an area where you need healing, just to invite it there too. And somehow I feel like Raphael is participating in this healing too. So we're adding his healing energy to the mix. And just all of the cells of your body, you can invite it into all of the cells. And it might be a deep, deep violet. It might be, it's often associated with amethyst. And I think then there's the deep violet and then the lighter colors of violet and all the way to that sparkling white tip of the crystals. So just the perfect light for you. I apologize for the loud mouths. They're uncontrollable. Ask Raphael to calm them down. And let me know, Lula, when it feels like that leveling out a little for you.
Oh, this is intense.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm healing something very big.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm already feeling it in my legs and toes, like some cold energy and like refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
My feet are getting cold, very cold.
Interesting.
And now I'm like releasing all of this to earth
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and saying thanks to earth for receiving all of
Mm-hmm.
this already
But which is
used
good, so it
energy.
can be transformed back into light.
Yeah. Was an explosion. Wow. Woo. What an experience.
Mm. For anyone who wants to see Saint Germain, I drew his card out so you can look at him too. He's a being I connect with quite a bit myself. Just an amazing being. Yeah, so now you have both of them.
Wow, Jen and
Sometimes with
Phillip, that was.
these cards, sometimes I'll, like with these, I think what I'll do is put them, I have a place where I can just display them in front of me on my desk so I connect with them throughout the day.
I have a similar, I have it here, like I'm going to show, and I have the card of the week too.
Right.
There.
Yeah. So,
I-
Philip, do you want to share any insights you've received from the masters or from
sure.
the experience?
Well, let me start with some things I picked up, which is probably blending in with Lady Portia's energy, which I'm going to merge into in a moment here. But just some of the things I'm picking up is because we started with the ancestral healing, the generational healing, creating the physical disease in the body for Lula. So, anyways, what it seemed to me was being picked up was from her cultures being exploited and abused in the past, and then going into this lifetime in her own personal being exploited and abused, and not, and it being very abrasive and being held in the body and not knowing how to release that because it's very disturbing. So that's what I was kind of picking up for the way of just integrating that and letting it, coming to terms with it, accepting it,
Mm-hmm.
and letting it go and just integrating it, even though it's very painful, and rather than kind of fighting it.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's
Important.
accepting or approving of the injustice and exploitation, but putting yourself in kind of a different place to understand it.
Makes sense. Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And actually, the part of the process was amazing. Saint Germain was here, Lady Portia here, in front, and I was in the middle. And both of them were sending light. But
It's interesting. Just let me mention, the right side of the body is the masculine side. She saw, or right side. She saw Saint Germain on her right side, Portia on her left side, which makes a lot of sense, with bringing balance to the masculine and feminine. That's beautiful. So go ahead. I just had to mention that because I think it's relevant.
And I felt, since we started, as I mentioned, Archangel Raphael with me all the time, but he was hugging me all the time. Actually, in that process, he was hugging me. And then were Lady Portia and Saint Germain, and was an amazing, because it was so like deep what I was like releasing. They needed to place themselves that way. And I tried transmuting all of this, as I said, but it was very interesting how I was hugged all the time.
Yeah.
with from Archangel Raphael, and with being him there, then the additional light from Saint Germain and Lady Portia. So was really profound, and feeling it in my body, and I got really emotional, and I think a lot of the pain that I thought that was mine and that I was blaming myself and trying to figure out why I was feeling so sad is not only my experience. I can sense, and what I released was, as Philip mentioned, like from many other, like collective and ancestral, and makes actually yesterday I have a conversation with my cousin about this, so it's like so crazy. So make completely sense for me, and I feel the joy actually of the transmutation.
And that's something that surprised me when I first started using the violet flame recently. I would end up, and I hadn't read, that it actually it transmutes it into love and joy, but I would get really happy. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
So and I think this is for you, and it also is for all the people here, that this is something, if you feel it and that you resonate with it, it's something you can do anytime, any day. And sometimes recently something was happening with someone else, and I just imagined sending that violet flame to transmute the challenge that they were facing, for that it was a collective experience, something that was happening in a place in the United States that was difficult. But it is and it's interesting, actually. They mentioned she was on the karma board. I didn't realize that. So there's just a very strong kind of indication in all of that, what was happening and is happening. So
yes, is wow. I actually can say that I completely transformed from feeling a little bit like a victim,
right,
to feeling happy and important of being chosen for this. Is so crazy. It's like, yes, they choose me for doing this transmutation.
right.
When I
Well,
was
and
feeling
it's
like,
not just that, it's that it was an agreement that you chose it too, to do it for yourself and as a gift, to support humanity. I think many of us who are the kind of people we are, have done that and are doing it, that we've volunteered for different things for various reasons. And of course oh, go ahead.
Sorry, that I actually, that's exactly what I'm feeling, is that because I was in that level of consciousness, maybe similar to the one
you're
where I
bringing
did
more
that
of your own
agreement.
wisdom
Exactly.
in, right? Yeah.
So it's like, I did it. It's like, yay, I did it. I already crossed this. I break through this, and yeah, I was able to connect to that place where I decided to volunteer for this, and I can feel proud of myself and how brave I was, and I feel completely proud of myself right now.
Good, wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be a good healing, instead of the shame, turn it into being proud of what you
So
went
thank
through and
you.
transformed.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
With
Thank
you
you for
both,
being
I
open.
have always a lot of amazing experiences and healing. And as you said, we never know how it's gonna go or work, but
that's one of the wonderful things, I
surprised.
think, in the circle, because we have an open space for that to happen, and it is. I woke up today feeling really blissful and like something fun is going to happen here.
Absolutely. Actually, yeah, I can wait to share with you what else is happening.
Wonderful.
In coming days.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you.
Of
Thank
course,
you, everyone, actually, that is supporting us.
right.
Watching
And
this.
that's part of it, is everyone who is around us here and in the circle with us is
I
supporting it.
felt all of
And-
you, and thank you.
Yeah, and collectively we can be sending out, I have to, I'm looking for my little planet. We always want to end just with our intention to share the love that we're, oh, you got probably the same one from Amazon.
Yes.
I love these
Yeah.
little,
So let's send all of that
Yeah,
healing.
our globe. And I just hold it in my hands, just surround the world with love. And the way I imagine it is that with the support from all of us, that the vibration around the planet is just going to get brighter and brighter until things, love is it for our planet. And just all these beautiful, we're like lighthouses shining out light. More and more of us, and we're all getting brighter and brighter. And I can hear, actually, it is like that choir of angels thanking us all. There's
Mhm.
so many of them around us now. And I want to thank, obviously, Lady Portia, Saint Germain, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Michael, all of these beautiful beings and more, all of the beings of light who have joined us. There are many we don't know who they are, but they're here. They've come to support us. So since we're right at the end of our time here, Loola, would you like to share? Loola, Loola is a wonderful also healer. Would you like to share a little bit more about what you're doing and how people can connect with you?
Sure. Thank you, Jane. I work with women. I'm helping women to connect with their inner wisdom to heal and manifest their dreams. Right now, I'm giving a free healing session to share the roadmap to connect with your inner wisdom and take steps to manifest your dreams. And I'm close to share my free training, so I will keep all of you posted. So I will share all of that in my social media, in Facebook, in my new Facebook group that I will send all of you an invitation, specifically you, Jane, because it's for
Okay.
women. And yeah, it's a surprise. So I will keep you posted when it's like a really launch. And yeah, I'm focused on helping all women up there, you know, in the world, because we all together are gonna create a better place for our next generations.
I agree. So they can become friends with you on Facebook and then they'll hear about what you're doing?
Exactly. Actually, I have already some information, some content about what I'm doing. You can find my backstory, you know, and understand what I like want, or I could be that person that can help you, you know, with some of the challenges. And there is a link where you can actually reserve or book your free healing session now. And I hope this coming week, I will share the link for the free training.
Wonderful. Thank you. And Philip is going to tell us, he just put up a link to a course that we have starting. It's going to be the week after next, coming up on the Ascended Masters. So Philip, would you like to share a little bit about that?
Yes, Jane and I are excited about this new course we've been working on for about a year on the Ascended Masters. We're calling it Spiritual Transformation with Oracles and the Enlightened Masters. And it's a wonderful course. You can now enroll. It's very affordable. It is highly transformational and practical and hands-on. And there's a shortened URL to go there. And you might want to write this down if you're interested. It's at tinyurl.com. That's tinyurl.com/4. That's the number 4 masters course. So tinyurl.com/the number 4 masters course, and you can find out all about the exciting spiritual transformation course with the Enlightened Masters coming up, which you can now
Wonderful.
enroll.
Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah,
So
it's
we'll have,
exciting.
yeah,
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 people, don't doubt. Don't doubt. We start the 5th of April.
Yes,
And I'm so
live.
excited.
Yeah, they'll be all recorded, all the trainings. Mhm.
right. Yeah.
And you can get bonuses. Sorry, because I already did it. And I think people need to know this. And you get very amazing bonuses. So
Oh,
Yes,
wonderful.
click
and
there.
some special guidebooks and things we wrote for
Yeah.
the exclusive of that course.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we're still working on it. I'm working on a few more things.
I'm
So,
excited.
the last thing I want, well, second to last thing I want to say is ways to support the circle. You can follow our page. You can share this video. If you're on Facebook, share it with your friends. And you can invite your friends to join you in the circle and share the experience together and talk about it afterwards. The final thing that I always want to do is send some of this love and light forward to the coming week so that you have a wonderful week ahead. Just beautiful, beautiful light and love all the way through, and know that it's there for you. Especially if you just remember it, it's like, oh, where's that love and light? It's right here.
Feels so
And
good. Thank you.
want everyone to have a wonderful week. And thank you so much for being supportive of love and light.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.